The Controller of Budget has just raised concerns regarding the state of our debt as a country, and as investors, we should. Now, 67% of our GDP is equivalent to the loans that we owe, to the debts that we owe. And this statistic is as at September 2024. So just to put this into perspective, you can see that the percentage of debt relative to GDP was 68% in 2020, increased to 68.23. It went down a little bit in 2022, but went up in 2023. And of course, this is as at September, so it's probably higher. GDP is an important metric because it measures the value of all the goods and services that we produce as a country. So think about the government expenditures. Think about the government paying salaries to the county level employees. Add that up. Think about what you, as a consumer, you buy in terms of food, in terms of shoes. Think about all the investments and savings that you've made to your money market fund account, to your treasury bond, to the business that you have, and you've employed people and you pay them salaries. All those salaries, wages, whatever it is that you've consumed, that pair of shoes, that vacation that you went to, add all that up, add all the exports minus the imports that we have as a country, and it will give you the GDP. So you can imagine whatever that we've produced as a country, 67% of it is equivalent to the debt that we owe. So what does that mean? It means that we are drowning in debts. We are drowning in debts. In fact, according to the report done by the Controller of Budget that was in December 2024, she said that as of September 2024, that financial year, 2024-2025, 70% of all the revenue that we collected in terms of taxes, tariffs, levies, everything else was used to pay back the loans, all the loans that we owe. And the 30% that remained was now used for the expenditure. You can imagine that whatever it is that we are making as a country, whatever it is that we are collecting, rather, we are prioritizing debts over the expenditure. After we've paid out our debts, that's when we start thinking about, okay, we need money for the county government to fund the projects that we are making. We need money to pay county level employees, civil servants. We need money for that dam. We need money for CDF to support education. We need money for everything. This in itself is a crisis. It is. And what's interesting is that back in 2023, when the percentage went to as high as 73.11%, the members of parliament agreed that the maximum that this number can ever be is 55%. So this is the ceiling. We can't go beyond this. That was back in 2023. But now you can see that it's 67%, and it's higher than the 67% than what they said. So my question is, when they were coming up with this figure, what was it that they looked at such that they said 55% is the ceiling? We can't go beyond that. And whatever it is that they used, the criteria that they used, have they analyzed it to see where we are going wrong as a country? Should this be adjusted to 60% so that it's more realistic? Because this has not been attained, and according to the report by the Controller of Budget, she doesn't see this trend decreasing unless we do something about it. So she cited two main reasons as to why our debts are this high. One was in terms of corruption. Corruption is responsible for all the losses that we're making as a country. Somebody somewhere is going to get a tender, somebody somewhere is going to get that procurement tender, like I said, and it's going to be highly priced. Corruption is involved in all sectors, and we can all agree that we are a corrupt country. In one way or the other, we've been corrupt. That she can't tackle. At least this she can control, but this, it's beyond her. And we can all agree that it's beyond her. So with regard to wastages, she set out certain guidelines for the county government. One is that if there's any project that needs funding, the county government must prove that this project is going to have a net positive return. They are no longer investing in dams that are not going to have any positive impact in the community. Of course, dams are going to have positive impact, but coming up with certain projects that are showing more of a loss than the gain, they're not going to allow any money to go towards that project. Hope they follow through with that. The other one is in terms of 2025-2026 financial year. Of course, we are heading towards this financial year, and there's going to be a finance bill that is going to outline the budgets of these county governments. So for any county government to receive any budget that is going to be allocated to them, they must come up with a payment plan that outlines how this money is going to be spent. If 70%, or rather, let's say if 30% or if 40% is going towards salaries, let it be salaries. They want the county government to map out how this budget is going to work, and this is something that the office is going to follow to the latter. They're going to be analyzing this to minimize wastage. The Control of Budget also came up with a 35% wage bill. In this wage bill, they are thinking of having 35% of all the revenues that have been collected at the county level to be used to pay salaries. In short, by 2028, they want to achieve this such that there's no point in time where a county government is going to spend 50% of all the revenues that they've collected to pay people salaries. It's not a viable solution. So this is a good target that I think it's a good one, because when she was looking at the budget and doing the audits, she noticed that for certain county governments, you find that yes, they have a budget, they've collected revenue, but then 50% of it goes to salaries. Then what's the point of having a county government when majority of the money is going towards labor and the other percent is going towards projects? How is the county going to grow? The real projects that need investments need to be taken care of. In terms of corruption, which she can't handle, the High Court reached out to the government and asked them to present all the documentations, all the agreements that have been done with regard to debts. Remember, as a country, we borrow money externally. We go to the IMF, we go to the World Bank, and we borrow money. So when we go to the IMF, we are asking for, let's say, 5 billion. And we are like, okay, give us 5 billion. We're going to use this for some of the projects that we have. So this is what the High Court is doing. At least we have a body in the judiciary, or rather, at least we have the judiciary that is taking charge. I don't know if the government will actually do this, but we need this so that they can do the reconciliations and see, okay, if they said 5 billion was to go towards this certain project, okay, where is this project? Has it been done? Where did the money go to? Was the money lost to corruption? Honestly, for corruption, we are a corrupt country, and the only solution that I can think of is having strong institutions that can uphold the rule of law such that no one is above it. If you're corrupt, you're caught. If this percentage goes up to, let's say, 80% or 75%, it's not going to be a good indicator for us as a country. Because think about it. Why would someone lend money to a country that is more likely to default? Because this is what this metric is telling us. Imagine if this metric was 90%. It shows that we are more likely to not pay this debt. So what happens if those people give us loans? They give us loans at a higher interest. Even you think about it. When you go to the bank and you have a bad credit score, if ever they're going to give you a loan, they're going to give it to you at a high interest. So it's the same thing. It also erodes confidence, because you as a bond investor who lends out money to the government, why would you want to invest in a government that is full of debts, that uses debts to pay debts, and they're continuously in a cycle? My question to you is, what is the solution? Because this is our country. I'd love to know your thoughts on the comments. Like this video and see you in the next one.